Hi guys, I'm live. How you guys doing? This may be a stupid rant, but I'm doing it anyway. If it's really dumb, I can just delete it. But I want to make a multi-fronted argument against spiritual worry. Okay, there's only a few scenarios about existence and spirituality and where we go and where we came from and who we are. There's only a few variables. I'm going to analyze each one and see how each one leads to don't worry about it. Okay, the first variable, because we don't know, but it's just a variable. Did we exist before we were born? In other words, is the beginning of Jimmy Rex Wiseman on 12/6/66, or did I exist somehow in some other form, some way before that? Okay, let's answer that question both ways. If I existed before I was born, then I'm going to exist after I die. Therefore, immortality is not a problem or anything to worry about. I will live again. If I lived before I was born, this birth is just a transition point and a temporary stop, at which point I'll go at least back to where I came before I was born, if not better, because sometimes maybe this life teaches me or something or advances me, and I'll even be better than I was before I was born. Either way, I still will exist after I die, so no need to worry about mortality, at least in the overall sense, because I will still exist after I die, so what's the fucking point? No worry there. If I didn't exist before I was born, then there's a couple scenarios with that. If I didn't exist before I was born, then there's nothing I can do about that fact, and I may not exist after I die. Because if I didn't exist before, I may not exist after this life. But if that's the case, there's nothing I can do about it. If there's nothing you can do about something, then it doesn't help to worry. You're already screwed. So don't worry about it. You're screwed and nothing you can do about it. Worry doesn't help. I didn't exist before this life. After this life, I'm just dead. And there's nothing I can do about it. So worry won't help. So just enjoy your life while you have it. That's front number two. And again, don't worry about it. Then the bleakest and darkest of all, but I'm going to see how this is okay too. I didn't exist before I was born, but I will exist after, i.e. Christianity is the truth and the Bible is correct, because that's basically the story of the Bible. We did not exist before our birth, but we exist forever after our birth. That's a miracle that really is hard to fathom and really stupid, but doesn't mean it isn't true, it can't be true. So let's just analyze that to make sure we covered that in our scenarios. If I didn't exist before I was born, but I will always exist anyway. I had a finite beginning, but yet I'm going to live forever, LOL. Then the Bible scenario is correct, and there's only two things. There's only one thing to worry about. Will I go to heaven or will I go to hell? I suggest, rather than worrying about that, if that's the case, rather than worrying about if I'm going to heaven or not, leave that in God's hands. Even the Bible says, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has enough evil of its own. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Tomorrow is sufficient unto today's evil thereof. Sufficient unto the afterlife is the evil thereof. You don't decide where you go. God does. It's out of your hands. On one hand, it's out of your hands. So enjoy your life while you have it. Leave that up to God. Worry about that when you get there. Don't waste your life or ruin your life or miss your life or skip your life because of that issue or fear. Second point of view within that scenario, not only don't worry about whether you go to heaven or hell, accept that hell is okay. It's okay if you go to hell. It's not your choice anyway, so you don't know that you're not. So, and not only that, it may not be that bad. Hell may be more interesting, more fun, more permissive, more freedom, more degrees of freedom, more possibilities, more enjoyment than heaven anyway. So why waste your life, skip your life, miss your life, or something that that's not in your control, you can't deal with now because it hasn't happened yet, and you may be on the wrong side of the issue. You may be wanting to go to the wrong place. Heaven may be the wrong place to even want to go. Sounds really boring to me, heaven does. I don't know what you do in heaven. Just exist for eternity, worshiping God? Yuck. That's boring. That's stupid. And that's a waste of my immortality if I have such LOL. Just saying. If in the darkest scenario, if I didn't exist before my birth, but I'll exist forever, I might as well accept that might be in hell. And that acceptance sets me free, FREE, from myself, from that worry, from the prison of the mind trap called religion and society and all the shit they teach you since you're born. That by the time you're 18 makes you a brainwashed dimwit. You grew down, not up. We're born happy. We're born at peace. We're born with wisdom and intuition and understanding, and we grow down from there. Only trick in that scenario is that actually we ungrow. We go back up when we get old. That's why they say, old age is the second childhood. Most people that are dumb and brainwashed don't get that, never see that again until they're old, and then they realize that their life was stupid, and they realize the error of their ways, and they go back to the mentality they had when they were born anyway, which is the wisdom they started with. That's why they call it the second childhood. That's why if you go to what they call it when you're not convalescence, but hospice. When people are dying, you hear the wisest things any adult will say, because they're basically facing their mortality and they're wising up. But nobody wants to listen because we don't like to deal with death. We don't want to see the dying. We want to see the living middle-aged people or younger adult people that are fucked in the head, because they're between the two childhoods, between the two wisdom eras. They're just brainwashed assholes. And that's what we want to hear. We want to hear the latest drug on TV that makes the pharmaceuticals billions of dollars and kills you. We want to hear that shit. We want to hear about the newest car. We want to hear about what anything else but the issue of why we're here, and just enjoy your life. And don't worry about shit that you're on the wrong side of anyway and can't control, and are therefore wasting your time and your life worrying about. Love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.